a supernatural horror movie. Candyman. It's a film from 1992. It's about a girl who's doing research for her thesis about myths and urban legends. And while doing so, she comes across Candyman. According to the legend, if you say his name looking at the mirror 5 times, Candyman, 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 he will come and kill you with the hook he has for a hand. The film is based on a short story written in 1985 by Clive Barker, the director of Hellraiser. The story is called The Forbidden, and both are based in 2 very well-known urban legends and some real-life historical events. Let's begin with the urban legends. The first one, it's called the Hookman. It dates back to around the 1950s, and even though there's a few variations of the legend, the skeleton of it is still the same. It is about this couple who are having a kissing session in their car, parked in an isolated Lover's Lane area. They hear on the radio that a crazy man with a hook for a hand had just escaped from a mental institution that was nearby. So they get a bit scared and decide to go back home. As soon as they do, they get out of the car and they discover that there was a hook covered in blood nailed to the back of the car. Other versions of the story say that the girl gets scared because as soon as she hears that on the radio, she sees someone outside. So he goes out to investigate, and when he comes back to the car, the girl has been brutally murdered with a hook. In other versions, they just both die. It is believed that even though the origin of the urban legend is unknown, it could have been inspired on the Texarkana Moonlight murders that happened in 1946. I've got a video talking about them, so I'm gonna link it here. The second urban legend is Bloody Mary. We all know this one, right? If you say Bloody Mary 3 times in front of a mirror in a dimly lit room, she will appear and try to scratch your eyes out or even kill you. The only reason why anyone would like to summon her is because apparently if you catch her in a really good mood, which is very rarely, she has the ability of telling you the future. It's not very clear when this story, this urban legend, started circulating, though it is believed that it could have been around the 1970s. And its origin, it's also a bit blurred. There's some historians who pointed out 3 real-life women that could have served as inspiration for this urban legend. The first one, it's Mary Tudor. She was Queen Mary I of England from 1553 until her death, and she earned the nickname of Bloody Mary because of the amount of Protestants that she put to death in an attempt to reconciliate the Roman Catholic Church with the Church of England. The second one is Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian countess that lived in the 16th century and was very famous for torturing and killing girls and young women. Some tales even say that she bathed in the blood of virgins in order to stay young and beautiful forever. And she was known as the Blood Countess. And the last one, it's Mary Worth, who was accused of being a witch during the Salem trials in the 17th century for kidnapping children. Leaving the legends aside, there is actually a scientific explanation for this. A research from the year 2000 discovered that if you look at yourself in the mirror for a long period of time in a room with very, very little light, your brain could start having hallucinations, and you can kind of like start seeing these optical illusions in where you can see your face melting or distorted, or even seeing weird faces besides you or behind you. Just don't stare at yourself at the mirror for too long. Let's talk now about the real events that inspired the film. Candyman is an evil soul that has a hook for a hand that goes around killing people. However, he has a really cruel backstory. In 1890, he was the son of a slave. He managed to become a successful painter and fell in love with a white woman and got punished for that. He got his right hand cut off, hence the hook, and he got his body covered in honey and died because of the bee stings. This specific story is not a real story. Rather, it's based on the events that were taking place in America during colonial times because of the laws that they had about interracial marriage, sex and relationships. After the Civil War, there was a lot of movements taking place in order to end slavery and ban these laws. That caused a lot of racial tension, resulting in white extremists reacting violently against it. It wasn't until 1967, with the case of Loving versus Virginia, when they got finally rid of those unjust laws. The case involved Mildred Loving, who was a black woman, and her white husband, Richard Loving. They were both sentenced to a year in prison for marrying each other. Like, they wanted to get married, they were in love, they wanted to be together, and they got put in jail because of that. So after a long process, the Supreme Court finally took the right decision of freeing them of all charges. It was a landmark case ending the unjust race-based legal restrictions on interracial marriage. Finally, the case that the main character in the movie goes out to investigate, it's inspired on the real-life murder of Rudy McCoy in Chicago. In April 1987, Ruth called 911 asking for help. She told them that she was convinced that someone was trying to access her apartment to harm her through the cabinet that she had in the bathroom. When police got there to investigate 2 days later, they found that Ruth had been shot 4 times and she was dead in her apartment. It is known that the whole building and the ones surrounding that area had hidden passages and corridors in between apartments in order to make it easier for maintenance work. Her bathroom was indeed connected with the apartment next door, so whoever killed Ruth came and went through that little hole. In order to summarize all of this information, is Candyman real? No. He's not a real person. He never was. However, the film got its inspiration from real-life events in order to convey the horrors that Black people had suffered throughout history, as well as the terror that people like Ruth had to experience in their everyday lives due to the poor living conditions. So you get those two things together and throw in a couple urban legends, and there you go. You have the recipe for a really, really good horror film. As the last fun fact, all the bees that you see on screen are not CGI. They used real bees that they breed specifically for being on screen. There were around 200,000 of them. But don't worry, they used baby bees because apparently they're less dangerous. Do you remember that scene in where Candyman has his mouth full of bees coming out of it? Yeah, they were all real baby actor bees. This is now the end of the video. I do hope you liked it, and if so, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, I will see you all next time.